Good afternoon. I'm Onisa Klein here at the GBTA broadcast studio here at the Dallas Convention Center. And joining me today is Dr. John Rose, who is the Chief Risk Officer for ALTOUR. John, good to see you.
Good seeing you again.
And welcome back.
Thank you.
Did you have a good trip in from San Diego?
Always. Flight was ahead of schedule. That's all I can ask for.
Excellent. And you haven't melted yet.
I haven't melted yet. It's close though.
Yeah. Well, it's great to have you back and good to see you. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us.
Always.
Lots going on in the industry. One being disruption.
Of course.
Always disruption, right?
Yes.
Always new things. So addressing disruption is key for every company and organization. In what ways can companies mitigate labor disruptions by leveraging threat intelligence?
Well, most labor disruption you know about in advance, even when they're unplanned. As we know, wildcat strikes, there's intelligence that will tell you, oh, the unions are not happy. The workers are not happy. There's a potential for a sick out, as we've all heard about in the industry. And threat-based intelligence can alert organizations well in advance saying, this may happen, and allowing them to make decisions around, well, okay, maybe we move this conference, or maybe we adjust this business trip because we've got to go see that client for the sale. And if you have that information, you can make informed decisions as opposed to day of, my flights are canceled. Well, that doesn't help anybody.
Oh, wow. So how can companies enhance their travel risk management program to encompass remote workers, which is becoming more and more, right, post-pandemic?
And that's a big one, because before, organizations, maybe they had 4 offices and they focused on the office. And the office often had a lot of security, you know, badge access, maybe security guards, gates. And then if anything happened, they focused on the office. Well, your office now is everywhere. It not be just not 50 states, it might be 50 countries.
Right.
So having your employees in a system where you know where they live will allow you to communicate with them, because there may be things happening that they need to know about, but you need to know about. Because what if there's going to be a major outage because of a storm and they're not going to be online? So that's a portion of your workforce that's removed, you may have to compensate for in other areas. And knowing where they are and being able to track the events that will impact that helps you with your business continuity.
Yeah, really important to know where your people are at all times, right?
Yes, it is.
So what are some common shortcomings or gaps you've observed in organizations when trying to safeguard travelers?
Well, one of the biggest ones is they don't know where their people are. You can't help somebody if you don't know.
Right.
If that train strike is going to disrupt them and you don't know they're in Rome because they went to Milan and they took a train to Rome and you didn't know that. And it's really difficult in the industry with hotels. I've seen a lot of different statistics, and I don't have empirical evidence of the numbers, but there's a lot of numbers thrown out. As much as 50% of hotel nights are not tracked in the system for a company. Well, hotels is where usually things do happen. There may be what if there's a protest nearby? Take Paris as an example, or any major city. You need to know where your people are so you can communicate with them and help mitigate. And it may not always be life-threatening, it could be, but it could be just, you need to know about this because you're not going to get to your meeting. There's going to be no way an Uber's going to get you there in 45 minutes today. It's going to be 2.5 hours, so prepare differently. And if you inform them of that, it helps you run your business better.
Great. And with bleisure, that's a word I keep hearing over and over. Really important to keep, again, know where your people are at all times, right?
Well, and it's a very different world. Things completely shifted after COVID, and it's wonderful. Because my generation, we're the kind that if we got a meeting on Monday, we fly out that morning and fly out that afternoon, back that afternoon.
Right. Now it's a whole
Our children's generation goes out on Friday, spends the weekend, goes to the meeting on Monday, and maybe they go catch a play on Monday night or go to a ball game.
Do something else,
And companies should acknowledge this and assist with it because, you know, I don't necessarily like the word bleisure, but I saw an actual formal study the other day that 38% of all trips now include a weekend. And I'm talking, these are business trips.
Right.
Well, that's not my generation. The business trip was the rare occurrence. You had a conference that started on a Sunday if you went on a weekend. You know, we know the business travel was Monday to Thursday.
Right.
So this change means organizations really need to know that, and people don't necessarily want to give you their leisure travel information.
Right.
But if there's a way you can get them information so that they're able to help mitigate their own risks, such as there's going to be a strike, a protest, etc., then your organization is fulfilling your duty of care, because often your business travel accident insurance, most plans cover 3 days post and prior, because the insurance company know people go early and stay late. Well, make sure your duty of care program doesn't start the second the business trip starts and the second it ends. It's when your person leaves and when they come home. And that's very important, because 38% is not a small number. We know that's going to grow.
Big, right.
So you almost have to think in your mind, half my business trips are going to include some sort of additional leisure component. And how can I assist with that to take care of our best assets, which are our employees?
Yeah. Well, John, lots of good food for thought. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for joining me for a bit here today, and I hope you have a great conference.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
I'm Monisa Klein here at the GBTA Broadcast Studio.